Basketball history will forever connect Los Angeles and Minneapolis through the Lakers' legacy. But any other connections stop there. The Minnesota Timberwolves have never rivaled the Lakers' success as a franchise, yet this playoff series holds intrigue, with Anthony Edwards poised to assert himself as the standout talent. Despite splitting regular season games 2-2, Ant faces a steep challenge, sharing the stage with established stars like Luka Doncic and LeBron James. Luka's playoff arrival in Los Angeles also carries unique weight. While the Lakers acquired Luka, the Lakers' goal was to solidify their future, especially with LeBron soon retiring. However, since joining the team, Luka has delivered MVP-caliber performances, quickly winning over a fan base and moving up the timeline of championship aspirations in LA. Now he looks to punish Minnesota for a second consecutive postseason. His dismantling of the Timberwolves in last year's Western Conference Finals is certainly still on their minds.
Down by 2. There's the switch. Gobert's out there. Doncic maneuvers for the lead. Got it!
Now, Julius Randle's Minnesota playoff introduction carries added urgency compared to Luka's spotlight moment. The former Knicks transition to the Timberwolves has been rocky since last summer's Karl Anthony Towns blockbuster trade, though recent flashes of improvement hint at untapped potential. Randle now faces the reputation of a playoff dropper from his time in New York, a 34% career postseason shooting mark, just 28% from 3, and a tendency to fade when in the bigger moments. Randle will look to redefine his reputation as a second scoring option on the Wolves. Now, let's talk about a couple X factors. With the departure of Anthony Davis, the question for the Lakers is clear. Can this roster outmaneuver its defensive deficiencies? With traditional rim protection lacking, the team will look for a collective effort for defense and rebounding. Jackson Hayes anchors a decent front line, but defensive survival hinges on LeBron James and Rui Hachimura increasing their big man skills, with Luka and others making up for where they fall short. The X factor for the Lakers in this series will be their ability to protect the rim and get rebounds as a collective unit. As for the Timberwolves, their defense ranks 6th in the NBA, but will certainly have their work cut out for them. LeBron, well, he's LeBron. Luka, as previously mentioned, handled a similar defense in the last year's playoffs, and Austin Reeves continues to improve as a good off-ball creator and an elite third scoring option. While Anthony Edwards' two-way electricity will dominate headlines, Jaden McDaniels' ability to fulfill assignments could dictate the series. The 6'9 disruptor might rotate between shadowing Luka's ISOs to LeBron's downhill attacks to really anyone that needs a defensive check. With some experience against Luka and his reputation as an elite defender, look for McDaniels to be an important factor in Minnesota's success. Now, let's look at an interesting number. 47.1%. The Lakers' seismic shift to a perimeter-centric offense since Luka's arrival now collides with Minnesota's elite three-point resistance. Under Luka's offensive leadership, Los Angeles transformed into a long-range artillery unit, shooting their way from 22nd to 3rd league-wide in three-point volume over their final 28 games. Since Luka's debut as a Laker, 47.1% of their shots have been three-pointers. And understandably so. Luka directly influenced 44% of the team's made three-pointers, either shooting them himself or assisting on them. LeBron James has turned into an elite three-ball shooter, and Austin Reeves can knock down the three as well. On the other hand, Minnesota boasts a top 10 defense at suppressing both three-point volume and efficiency, but the Lakers' quantity over efficiency approach presents unique problems for the Wolves. In their only matchup since Luka joined LA, the Lakers launched 50% of their shots from deep, overcoming Minnesota's 36-33 edge and made threes by sheer volume, a blueprint they'll likely attempt to replicate. The Wolves' scheme thrives against hesitant shooters, but Luka's range and ability to throw accurate skip passes could overcome Minnesota's disciplined rotations. Interestingly, Minnesota has the personnel to defend the three ball at the highest level, but LA has the shooters to make it interesting. Whichever system bends first, Minnesota's suppression or LA's output, becomes the statistical battleground that could tilt the series. Now, let's move on to my actual prediction. The Lakers clearly have two of the best offensive motors in NBA history, making them truly formidable, but Minnesota's structural advantages and recent playoff performances make this really tough. However, for me, there seems like a clearer path for the Lakers to win the series. Here's how I think they do it. The Lakers' spaced-out basketball philosophy, deploying Rui Hachimura and Dorian Finney-Smith as small ball centers, forces Rudy Gobert into mismatches. By stretching the floor from corner to corner, they negate Minnesota's interior dominance and exploit Gobert's lack of lateral quickness in pick and rolls. Luka Doncic's elite ability to target Gobert in space will force Minnesota to either abandon their defensive anchor or endure repeated breakdowns. The Lakers' reliance on corner threes from Rui and DFS, combined with JJ Redick's emphasis on shooting, creates a high variance advantage that Minnesota's slower bigs can't counter. The Lakers' multi-layered defensive scheme, mixing switches, zones, and drop coverage, will disrupt Edwards' rhythm. Vanderbilt is likely the guy that's going to be guarding Edwards, bringing physicality and familiarity from their past matchups, while LeBron, DFS, and Austin Reeves rotate to keep Edwards guessing. By forcing Edwards into playmaking, a weakness of his by the way, the Lakers turn Minnesota's superstar into a facilitator rather than a scorer. This strategy mirrors successful playoff blueprints against ball-dominant stars. Mike Conley's size and Gobert's mobility limitations are glaring targets when it comes to mismatch hunting. The Lakers will hunt Conley and Gobert, leveraging Luka's pick-and-roll mastery to force Minnesota into early adjustments. If Gobert hedges on screens, shooters like Reeves and Rui capitalize on open looks. If he drops, Luka feasts on floaters and kickouts. This forces Minnesota to choose between removing Gobert and sacrificing defense, or removing Conley and losing playmaking. A lose-lose scenario for them offensively and defensively. Now, Austin Reeves' evolution into a star-level scorer creates a third-option nightmare for Minnesota. With defenders focused on Luka and LeBron, Reeves exploits mismatches against Minnesota's weaker perimeter defenders. His ability to read the defense and his clutch shooting breaks games open. If Edwards and McDaniels prioritize Luka and LeBron, Austin Reeves could be a huge factor in this series. Lastly, the Lakers' small ball success and Luka's playoff pedigree against Gobert trump Minnesota's regular season defense. Randle's playoff inefficiency and reputation could also tip the scales towards the Lakers. The path for LA to win this series seems somewhat clear to me. If they're able to execute good game planning, I could see them winning this series in 5 or 6 games, but let me know what you think in the comments. I also could see a world where the Wolves play how they did last year, getting ultra physical with the Lakers and edging them in the series. Thanks for watching Sports Pantheon.